Nearly 6,500 football fans enjoyed a sunny day in Bowling Green to watch the beginning of a new era in Western Kentucky football. That's more than double the crowd who attended last year's spring game. This year, fans were treated to a 42-3 blowout game as the red team, composed of probable starters, destroyed the white team, which was compiled of the 2s and 3s. New coach Bobby Petrino said the quick start is exciting to see for the program, and he says it's now up to his players to match the excitement on the field during the upcoming season.
I think we had the best they've ever had here for spring, and it's a great start, and the enthusiasm is exciting. You know, what we have to do, and all our players and coaches need to understand, it's up to us to put a great product on the field, be entertaining, win a lot of games, and then everybody comes and watches us play. And that's what we want to do. We want to put a great, exciting football team on the field and let the fans relate to the players. You know, let the fans kind of get to know the players, not only as football players and entertainers, but as people. So we're working hard at that.
During the game, the Hilltoppers threw the football 69 times. The red team completed 26 of 43 passes for 357 yards and 6 touchdowns on the way to 509 yards off total offense. Even though Petrino was exiled from football for a year after a scandal cost him his job at Arkansas, the 52-year-old appears to have picked up right where he left off. Petrino ran the same pass routes and offensive scheme as his previous college teams at U of L and Arkansas.
And that we're going to grind hard every day. We have to get it to where they expect that from themselves every day and from their teammate every day. We're not quite there yet. You know, I think they do understand what we're striving for as a staff, but they're not quite expecting that effort out of themselves every day. And so we got some work to do.
Petrino also says he has not chosen a quarterback for their opening game against Kentucky. Brandon Dowdy started on Saturday and completed 23 of 35 passes for 314 yards and 5 touchdowns. But Petrino says he isn't ready to give Brandon the job just yet.
Well, we're not going to name it who's the starter, but he's had the better spring when you combine everything together. He's ran the offense better than the other two guys have at this point. He's done some nice things. You know, he understands it. He's very coachable, and he knows what the progressions are, has a good idea about coverages, and has done a nice job of studying that. You know, DeMarcus continues to show his skill and his ability, but we have to get rid of the mistakes. And you know, he hasn't played for 2 years, so obviously there's some rust there.
Tony, they had 6,500 fans there, double from last year, and they had a really good coach last year they all liked. You can tell fans are excited, but can we say forgiving? Is this a fresh start for Bobby Petrino?
Oh, absolutely. I think that'll be his biggest problem moving forward in recruiting, is be able to convince players that he's going to stay. He's never been a failure anywhere he's gone. Even as an offense coordinator, he's been highly successful. I mean, when he went to the NFL and Jaguars, the Jaguars led the NFL in offense. Wherever he goes, he gets it done. He's a perfectionist. It's all about the details. If you go to one of his practices, it is most like an NFL practice that any practice you'll go to. Is he rough around the edges? No question. But when you see him on the field, to me, and I'll say it, he's the best football coach in this state. Okay, I love Charlie. Stoops is going to get it going and all that. But Bobby Petrino, heck, when you think about it, he didn't have to come up through the ranks. His first head coaching job was Louisville, which was a BCS team here at this point. Again, it was Conference USA, but you went right into the Big East. He's never had to coach at a lower level like this, even though Willie Taggart, the former coach at Western, left some good talent there.
Definitely.
But when you come in as a new coach, it has to be the talent that kind of matches your scheme. It's totally different. Willie Taggart was a bruiser. He want to run the ball, jam it down your neck. And what does Bobby do? You said it, 69 times they threw the ball. He wants to see who could throw the spiral, and he'll get it done. I don't know if it'll be this year. If he stays 2 years, Kentucky's in trouble next year, Leslie.
Oh, no.
I don't think Kentucky's going to win the game in Nashville, but it'll be closer than you think. Kentucky will win that. You got better talent. You got a really good coach now. You'll get it fixed. Plus, it's just too early for Bobby and Western, and the talent doesn't match up. Sorry, Joker, but the difference was last year, Willie Taggart had his team humming, had his team believing they could do it, and some bad luck on your side of Kentucky.
I think you're absolutely right. The more you think about it, just that 1 year transition. That Western Kentucky game in 2 years is going to be really good. And it's because he's using the same offensive schemes he used at Louisville, he used at Arkansas. They're proven to work. Why would you change things like that? The only thing I'm concerned about, they still have a quarterback battle going on, and their receivers are really young, really inexperienced. Can all that passing translate to fall football?
Well, I will tell you this. There are receivers that will tell you that Petrino, that they had to run. They ran for an entire, like a half a season. They just ran their routes before someone would throw the football to them. That's how precise. So he had to run his routes to perfection. Hands, and the route has to be perfect before you even throw a ball to you in practice. That's amazing. Now, he also has a quarterback, DeMarcus Smith, from Seneca High School in Louisville that went to the Elite 11, okay? Very good. If they can get him to read coverages on defense, he could be your starter halfway through the season. He zips the ball. He's got an NFL-type arm, but we don't know if he's got it together as Brendan does. It seems like he's going to start in the first game.
They also had another quarterback signed this weekend, so they're going to have tons of depth in the quarterback position. It's just deciding who's going to be the best. We talked about this off air. He's notoriously hard on his quarterbacks. What's that going to be like throughout the summer when you're already competing against your own teammates for that starting spot, but having a guy like Bobby Petrino yelling in your ear?
Okay, you have that, and don't sleep on Jeff Brom as the offensive coordinator. Jeff Brom was hired by Nick Saban twice and turned the job down. So you don't just have Bobby Petrino. You have Jeff Brom, a guy that was going to be the offensive coordinator at Alabama, twice. Now, both those guys, you're working with both those guys. It's heaven for these quarterbacks. You play this game. If you play football, you're used to getting grilled and drilled and all that. It's exciting for Western. The question will be, if he does his year of grace, will he stay longer than a year? And it's going to be on the mind of everyone as they go through the season. Now, in my opinion, college is about coaching. You'll see this team hum in about week 6 or 7. They are going to look a different. It's going to be fun to watch.
I hope so. I feel like all the players have already bought in, so it should be really good.
I seriously could talk all day about Bobby Petrino. The guy is a perfectionist. I love him. He's a little rough around the edges, like I said, but I love him.
Hey,